Here at D&D Toaster, we rarely talk about mobile titles. It's not that we consider these projects less important than the rest, but the app stores are full of so-called games and most of them, unfortunately, aren't exactly worthy of our appraisal. Regardless, the moment I first saw Pirates Outlaws, I knew there was something different about it, so I decided to give it a chance. Developed by Fabled Game, a young but promising studio from China, Pirates Outlaws is a curious mix of deck building and roguelike combat. And if even just for a second you thought these two mechanics wouldn't do well together, stick with me so I can prove you wrong. Despite the uncommon approach, the gameplay in Pirates Outlaws is actually quite simple and intuitive. At the head of your own ship, you're about to embark on a journey that will take you through treacherous waters and dangerous adventures. Each level starts at the bottom of a randomly generated map, and players will have to move in order to reach the top, where a boss enemy is waiting to rip them to pieces. Although this final encounter might sound like the only thing standing between us and a glorious victory, fighting off the boss remains the least of our concerns for most of the game. To tell you the truth, most playing sessions will be well over before you could even lay eyes on the big enemy. This is because whenever our ship moves to the next checkpoint, the game forces us to trigger one of four possible scenarios. The first and most common outcome you'll deal with is a battle, where the players are presented with a series of foes that they'll have to slay in order to proceed. Using only the cards in your deck and whatever strategy you can come up with, the goal here is to reduce each enemy's health points to 0 so as to defeat the whole party. You should also take care not to lose too much of your own health, however, as Pirates Outlaws features a Permadeath Mechanic and kicking the bucket in combat means you'll have to start from scratch. Winning, on the other hand, will yield a small amount of experience and gold that you'll be able to invest in upgrades and power-ups. And this takes us to taverns and markets, the next two kinds of checkpoint featured in Fabled Game's mobile title. While the latter is pretty self-explanatory and is a place where you can spend gold to buy new cards or relics, these are unique items that give you special abilities in combat by the way, the former is what you'll want to visit whenever your character is about to die. Taverns will sell you food that you can eat to restore your HPs, as well as giving you the chance to recharge your ship's action points, a part of which is consumed whenever you travel to another location on the map. Finally, as you explore both land and sea, your ship might run into a random event. Here, just like for any adventure worthy of a pirate, there's great potential for riches and treasure. You should beware, however, as your actions have a chance to lead you down a dangerous path. Choose the wrong approach and you might be forced to hastily retreat to your boat, often bruised and with your tail between your legs. Now that we looked at the main mechanics in Pirates Outlaws, we should address the elephant in the room. Just how interesting is this game and why should you even bother adding it to your collection to begin with? For that, I'd like to start from the very beginning, the download phase. First of all, I should mention that Pirates Outlaws isn't exactly free. The game's currently 99 cents US or your regional equivalent and is available on both Android and iOS. That is definitely a cheap price for a polished experience, but it also means that we'll have to deal with in-app purchases, unfortunately. That said, I often found myself going back to Pirates Outlaws in my spare time, even after I was done recording the footage for this video review. The game is surprisingly fun, it is relatively quick to get into, and seems perfect for short session as you commute home from work or wait line in the post office, just to give you an example. As you keep playing and clearing stages, you'll eventually earn enough gold to unlock additional characters, all of which, exception made for one, can be purchased for in-game currencies, and even 2 expansions that will give you more maps to explore. As usual, if I were to nitpick, I'd say my major problem with Pirates Outlaws is that it lacks a save function or the ability to properly exit the game, which means you'll have to manually tap out of the app and go back to your home if you need the device for something more productive. Still, doing so somehow saves your progress, meaning you won't have to start from the beginning if you get a call. Fabled Game should definitely work to fix that, but we're not talking about a high priority bug here. In conclusion, had I not received a free copy of Pirates Outlaws and had I known what you just learned with this video, would I have invested $1 in the game? Yeah, I'd like to think I would. And if you were impressed by even just a fraction of what you just saw, maybe you should consider doing the same.